Welcome to Nicol Bolas the Ravager. As far as opening hand goes, yeah, I love it. If we had a few more lands, but that's not going to be that good. So let's go mulligan on this one. And yeah, I think we can actually keep on this one. We've got 3 lands, Sword of Feast and Famine, which is, gives protection from black. Toxic Deluge to stop any sort of Voltron shenanigans, and Pull for Tomorrow. So we will keep on this one. And I'll probably put Nicol Bolas on the bottom, just simply because just a little far away from that. So it's always nice to see that, but in the late game, not in your opening hand. So, but yes, welcome to some Nicol Bolas, some Grixis Super Friends. Hope you're excited to get a ton of Planeswalker activations. That is the name of the game today. So, see what we're drawn to for the turn. Worn Power Stone. Yep, that's perfect. We need some ramp. Let's go Marsh Flats. Let's crack Marsh Flaps and grab ourselves. I think I said Marsh Flaps. That'd be a weird conception. So we've got Sunken Hollow. Yeah, I think Sunken Hollow would be a good bet. Yeah, because that still gives us access. Yeah, that'll be good. Have that come into play, tap, and then kick it back over there. So we're playing Nicol Bolas the Ravager. Flying. Whenever Nicol Bolas enters the battlefield, our opponent's going to discard a card. Then for a 7-mana activation, exile Nicol Bolas, turn him into a Planeswalker, +2, draw 2 cards, -3, 10 damage, target creature or Planeswalker, -4, put a creature card or a Planeswalker from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. Then for a -12, if you're still keeping score at home, exile all but the bottom card of target player's library. Let's go for Volcanic Island. That'll be good. And then we pass the turn. But yeah, that's going to be Nicol Bolas. We're playing against Rafiq of the Mini. Exalted. And then whenever a creature you control attacks alone, it gains double strike until end of turn. So there we go. Cover both commanders. Give a quick shout out to our sponsors, MTGOTraders. If you want to be a super friend in the Nicol Bolas Planeswalker Super Friend Army, head on over to MTGOTraders. I don't really know where I was going to go with that ad spot. If it sounded funny, or you're like, oh man, Jolt's going to say something funny, I it's like, I didn't know where I was going with that. But yeah, anyway, if you need to build super friends, head on over there. They've got a ton of Planeswalkers for you to choose from over at MTGOTraders. Give a quick shout out to inkgaming.com. You can use coupon code, actually, inkgaming.com/Jolt, or click on the link down in the description below, and then the coupon code will be automatically applied. So if you haven't treated yourself in a long time, make sure that you do get yourself a nice little play mat. And last but not least, I started a Patreon. So if you'd like to contribute to the Patreon, there's a link down in the description below. Get your name at the beginning or the ending of the credits to help support cool content like this. And if you can't do that, hey, no problem. Tell somebody about the channel. Or let's say when you get your hands on some of these sweet tokens, token drop of the month, make sure that you're Patreon. You'll be automatically entered into my Patreon giveaway. Not my Patreon giveaway, but my token giveaway each month. So now we got Mana Drain. Yeah, let's just go Worn Power Stone. Because that puts us in a spot to where we can end up going Pull from Tomorrow for 4 or 5 if we keep making our land drops. I kind of like the idea of that. So it's kind of like we're foregoing the early game simply just to kind of build up a board state. We could have even gone for something like the Royal Scions, but with us having Toxic Deluge, that's going to allow us to kind of dodge Cavernous Souls. Now with Mana Drain, just, I don't know, how much is Mana Drain? Let me see. This is where, like, me playing Magic Online, so let's see, let's go over here, let's go Mana Drain. So with Mana Drain on Magic Online, it is like $2.96, like $3. But Mana Drain on TCG appears to be like $90. And so just goes to show, if you're a person that enjoys playing with good old cards, MTGO might be your best bet. For $3, you can play with Mana Drain. But so it's not really going to apply to much paper players if you don't have it, or it's kind of expensive. But with Mana Drain and something like Cavernous Souls, even though they name human, let's say they cast Rafiq, we can still counter the spell. But it's not going to be countered from Cavernous Souls, but we still get the benefit of Mana Drain. So, long story short, it's kind of like Remand. If our opponent has Cavernous Souls down and then, it can't be countered, Mana Drain, all it says is counter target spell. We have countered it, even though it's not going to be countered, we still get the extra mana to our mana pool. Just like with Remand, you go to counter that spell. Because according to Mana Drain, it's been countered. We did our job, even though it technically didn't go to the graveyard or whatever. That's just, hey, kind of how Magic goes. So that's something to keep in mind if you're playing with Mana Drain and you find yourself in a mana pinch. You can use it something like that, especially if they can counter stuff. So we're not really seeing a lot of stuff from our opponent. We've got Rafiq. We could Toxic right now if we feel like we want to dodge like a board wipe from our opponent. But I think at the worst we could just end up going Now, if we go Impulse and we hit the land drop, that allows us to go for Impulse, land drop, and Nicol Bolas. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, let's do that. It's a little risky of a play, but I kind of like going for that. Let's go Impulse. Oh, and a bummer. Unfortunately, we don't hit the land drop, so it's going to cut us down just a little bit. We can go for a Flux Channeler, which is not that bad. We've got Liliana. We also have Mystical Tutor. So I think Mystical Tutor might be the best bet. So let's grab Mystical Tutor. Put those on the bottom in any order. Now, here's the thing. Do we want to end up leaving up Mana Drain? Yeah, I think we do, because then we can kind of bust it open next turn. So, yep, let's do that. Let's just go and pass the turn. We don't really see any Voltron stuff from our opponent. We are looking at a 3-3 right now. We do have to watch out for commander damage with our opponent. You know, simply just swinging in as a 3-3, getting that double strike. Next thing you know, they're at 8 total commander damage. That's, yeah, got to watch out for that. But at least we still have Toxic Deluge as a backup option. Hopefully we can kind of catch something nice from our opponent with Mana Drain. That'll kind of give us the option of, you know, maybe kind of knocking that spell down, getting some extra mana, and kind of rolling out Nicol Bolas. That's kind of what this deck wants to do, is be a little bit of a tempo deck at the same time. So the opponent's going to be tapped. Oh, yeah, I think we'll end up going Mana Drain on that. Protection from red and white. Yeah, let's do that. So let's go Mana Drain. That's going to give us an extra 3 mana. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's going to be 8 total mana. We can Mystical Tutor for something during our upkeep, but I think we'll be okay with this one. And that's going to be Glitspire Avenger or Guiltspire. Destroy target creature that dealt damage to you this turn. Okay, so we've got to basically just double Exalted. So with them rolling out 2 creatures, I feel really good about going for Toxic Deluge next turn. In fact, we can even use Worn Power Stone and still have a little bit of extra mana. We can even end up going for Royal Scions to try to generate some value with that draw and discard a card. So I don't think we're going to go Mystical Tutor, especially with that that Avenger coming down. So, all right, it's going to be double strike. That will be 10 total commander damage. Look at that. That's you can see we almost don't even need Voltron to take care of to get some good damage in with Rafiq. So, see what we draw into Terminate. Okay, that'll be good. All right, so we're going to add extra mana to our mana pool. Let's add black, and let's just going to get this Toxic Deluge out of the way for 3. Opponent is completely tapped out. That's going to be 1, 2. There we go. Let's pay 3 life. Let's make sure that's correct. That's going to be a 3-3. That is a 2-2. All right, so it's going to be 3 damage. Excuse me. Everybody's going to get -3, -3. That's going to clear them out. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 total mana. Let's do this. Let's go for the Royal Scions. That's going to use all of our color mana, but I think that's okay. Yeah, that's fine. All right, so because we might be able to run into an artifact. So let's go Royal Scions, +1, draw a card, then discard a card. That's going to allow us to start filtering through our library. I'd like to hold on to Pull from Tomorrow if possible, so we'll see what we need to get rid of, because everything else is pretty much a good option in our hand. And then Scarab God. Scarab God could work out, but this is definitely something that is... It's kind of like one of those late game cards. You know, if things are perfect, if the conditions are right for the Scarab God, we'll get the Scarab God down. But everything else kind of gives us a little bit of a better option to kind of further our board state. So we're going to get rid of the Scarab God. But as far as Nicol Bolas, it's been a little bit since I've played him. And as far as the actual deck itself, this is Grixis Super Friends. Pretty much, you know, it sounds what it sounds like. It's got a bunch of Planeswalkers in here. But one of the cool things about this is if we have a lot of... Oh, Archangel. Okay, kind of pause for a second. Kind of weird. We have a lot of Planeswalkers in here. We have a lot of ramp in here, so it's really not that hard to get Nicol Bolas to flip. But one of the fun things is if we can get to that -12, if our opponent hasn't scooped yet, we go -12, and then we have Ashiok as kind of the closing factor in the deck, which is always pretty cool. So opponent does have Archangel of Tithes. Whenever it is attacking, yeah. So there's no like spell extra stuff. Or at least didn't make our spells cost extra, so that's going to be okay. Now with Stoneforge Mystic, let's get the reveal zone popped up and see what they're going to be digging for. Almost something like, so if they have Sword of Feast and Famine, that would be a pretty good option for them. Okay, they actually end up going for Quietus Spike. So with that, I think what we might end up doing is simply just, if they decide to swing in with Quietus Spike, we do have Terminate to kind of, you know, hit whatever creature they decide to swing in with. So that might be a good option. If we can go Nicol Bolas, really, oh, we hit the land for the turn. That's such a welcome sight. So let's have Bloodstained Mire come down. Let's go and crack Bloodstained Mire, and we're going to grab another, let's get this popped out, and I guess could grab Badlands. Yeah, that actually wouldn't be that bad of a bet. So let's grab Badlands. It's going to come to play untapped. Let's go for a Royal Scion activation. Let's draw a card and discard a card. And then Arcane Denial. You know, I think at this point, Sword of Feast and Famine is very ambitious, so we'll just go and get rid of that. And I think we just go Nicol Bolas. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, if we end up going Nicol Bolas, that does keep us off Terminate or Arcane Denial. It's going to be quite a spike. We lose half of our life. I think we're okay with that. Because this can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that'll be 7 if we hit the land drop to flip next turn. I think that sounds pretty good. Or if we want to, we can just go for a pull from the... Yeah, let's go Nicol Bolas. Let's give this a shot. All right, so we're going to tap down for Grixis color. It's going to be blue, red, and black. And then it's going to be 1, 2 off of Worn Powerstone. So that Worn Powerstone enter the battlefield. Yeah, I'm okay with this. This is going to make them get rid of an extra card out of their hand. They've only got 3. If they're going to go Quiet as Spike and put it on Archangel, we can actually take that hit, and I feel like we'll be okay. So anything else? No, we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. So fingers crossed between the draw step and the Royal Scions, if we hit the land drop, that's going to be us completely tapping out for Nicol Bolas, which we will definitely do that because once you go over the +2, get Nicol Bolas to 9, and you're drawing 2 cards, that is pretty much a good game, you know. That's it's hard to come back from a flip Nicol Bolas, just simply because the loyalty's so high. You get the +2 and then draw 2 cards. It's just really hard to bounce back from that. So let's see if our opponent's gonna end up going Quiet as Spike. I'm gonna let them kind of get their turn going, and then I'll jump back into commentary. Okay, they're going to go Stoneforge Mystic activation for 2. Tap down Stoneforge. This could be Quiet as Spike. We'll go and cross that off our list. And let's see if they go for the equip. That's going to be equip for 3, which will be 1, 2. That's going to be a big chunk of their turn. So I think we're okay with that because that's going to put us down to 12. That puts us down to 6. So we're okay with them swinging in with Archangel, and also still keeps us open on Terminate for next turn. We do need to be careful, though, about Spike getting our life total down low, and, you know, let's say, ooh, Darksteel Mutation. Okay. Yep, that's going to get it. Okay, and then they can, we don't have an activate, yeah, so we can't activate that anymore. All right, at least we still have Terminate on Archangel if they decide to swing in again next turn. Okay, so we will end up seeing the equip on Archangel. Now, since our opponent did end up going Darksteel on Nicol Bolas, I think we still will end up going Mystical Tutor. So Nicol Bolas is indestructible. Man, I just don't know if we have any -X options in here. Yeah, I think we're okay with that. So let's go Mystical Tutor. So if we go Mystical Tutor, put an instant or sorcery card from our hand on top of our library. Let's get this popped out. If we're worried about Quiet as Spike, we could go for something like Vandal Blast to kind of destroy it. Let's just take a quick look. You know what? I'm almost more tempted just to go Removal. I think that'll be good. So let's grab Go for the Throat. Destroy target non-artifact creature. Yeah, I think we're okay with that. So we're going to grab Go for the Throat. Because what we can do is if we're going to be trying to bang... Yeah, our opponent's swinging in at us with Archangel. So we can actually go for the Throat next turn because they've seen that. And then we can terminate on Stoneforge. And that allows us to get to a spot where we can go for the -8. Okay, I think we can do that. And we can survive, hopefully, we don't have Mana Crypt out there, so we can survive a Quiet as Spite activation. Or not activation, but a trigger. All right, so we run into Go for the Throat. Let's go for the +1. Draw a card and discard a card. Let's see if we have to land for the turn. Because at this point, we just want to keep all the... Ooh, and then we run into Bedevil, which is, oh, just really good. Pull from tomorrow, draw 4 cards. Do we want to end up using that next turn? Yeah, do we want to get rid of Pull from Tomorrow is basically what I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, I think we're okay with that. So we're going to get rid of Pull from Tomorrow. And then anything else, let's just go and pass the turn to our opponent. Yeah, that'll be because we go for the throat. Because what we can do is we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got 6 total mana. So we can actually set it up to where, yeah, we can actually leave Terminate up, we can have Arcane Denial up, and we can leave Go for the Throat. So let's see if we're going to get Archangel to swing in or not, and then hopefully we can get this Royal Scion to go for that ultimate. I guess argument could be made for us to go for the -8 plus up and then go for -8 again. But at this point right now, we really need to get some kind of movement on our side, especially with us sitting at 6. Okay, so we're going to see Angelic Benediction come down. Whenever a creature you control Exalted. Whenever a creature you control attacks alone, that gets +1, and then whenever a creature you control attacks alone, you may tap target creature. Do we want to go I think we want to go Arcane Denial on that. Yeah, I think that's going to be a good bet. So let's go Arcane Denial. Yeah, and that still gives us access to go for the throat, which our opponent does know about. So we're going to go Arcane Denial. The good thing is it allows us to go for an extra card draw. This is one of those cards that Grixis has a hard time dealing with enchantments, and I would hate if somehow we lose control of this game. That would be a pretty big bummer. So, ooh, with Blind Obedience, that extort option is not going to be that good for us. But let's see. We'll see if we can dodge that extort. So we've got like 5 spells to dodge, and they have 0 cards in the hand now. So let's see if Archangel will end up swinging in or not. And we got Archangel swinging in at the Royal Scions. Let's go for the throat on Archangel. All right, so it's going to send quite a spike back over there, and we've still got 2 pieces of removal, so we're doing pretty good at this option right now. So let's see what we rip into. We're going to get an extra card draw from Arcane Denial, which is a nice feeling. They do get to draw 2 cards, which is a little bit of a bummer, but that's the downside to Arcane Denial. So let's see what we rip into. Okay, so we do hit a lane for the turn, which is going to be very nice. That's going to be a Polluted Delta. And then we hit another lane. All right, so let's go Swamp. Actually, if we go -8, that's going to be 4 card draw to any target equal. Yeah, let's just go and cash in -8. We're not going to be able to draw in 4 cards. All right, so it's going to be 8 damage to our opponents. It's going to put them down to 21. And then, oh yeah, let's do that. All right, there we go. All right, so we're going to deal that damage to our opponent. We do rip into Ashiok, and we do hit Nicol Bolas, God Pharaoh. Okay, so that did kind of stir up some really good options for us. Let's have Swamp come down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's going to be just enough for Nicol Bolas. And I think we're okay with going Nicol Bolas. Yeah, let's go for it. All right, so we're going to go Nicol Bolas. That's going to be blue. Because what we can do is that we can basically negate that Arcane Denial and just make sure that Nicol Bolas does stick out here. So let's go for the +2. Yeah, they're going to exile 2 cards from their hand, and this is what's so hard about Nicol Bolas is once you get that +1 going, whether it's the +2 from Nicol Bolas the Arisen or the something like Nicol Bolas over here. The fact that we get to exile 2 cards out of their hand. It was just 2 lands that they hit off of that Arcane Denial. But now that we do have Nicol Bolas down, it puts our opponent in a pretty weird spot. They're in top deck mode. They may end up having to go for Rafiq. We've got an indestructible Nicol Bolas insect shell. Can you imagine how cool that would look? Just like a little mini Nicol Bolas like that. But we're in a good spot now. We're going to have the +1, the +2 exile cards until they hit a non-land card. We can play it without paying their mana cost. Probably at this point, we want to just keep using that +1 because we want to make sure our opponent just doesn't have anything in their hand. That's kind of what this deck wants to do, is just kind of grind it out that way. So let's see what they ripped into, and let's see what they end up doing for the turn. Okay, so that's gonna be, they got Mana Crypt with an Extort trigger. So we do need to get a little bit of life gain, and we don't have any life gain. All right, so we need to make sure that our opponent stays off spells if possible, off of that Blind Obedience, and we'll see if they end up swinging with that Quiet as Spike. But another way, we can basically just kind of keep going for that +2. I think that'd be pretty good. Because they're going to be in top deck mode. We basically had a 5-turn clock with Blind Obedience. Now they can end up going for Rafiq. That's going to be 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But I think that's going to cut. No, excuse me. They can go Mana Crypt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and still end up paying for the Extort trigger. All right, so we've got ourselves a game. We're trying to fight a Blind Obedience at this point right now. Okay, that's going to be Rafiq coming down. Oh no. Now we do want to deal with Stoneforge Mystic, because if we can get Stoneforge Mystic done, we're good. And if they have Quiet as Spike on Rafiq, then that's it. That's game. I mean, not game, but I mean, we can chump block with Nicol Bolas all day long. So we have some options. So we run into Chromatic Lantern. Yeah, let's go for the +1, +2, excuse me. Yeah, let's go +2 on our opponent. Exile cards until we hit a non-land card. Ooh, Mirari's. Oh, yeah. All right, so we're going to cast Mirari's Wake, which is just a wonderful option for us. That's going to give us some really good options. Let's have, I guess at this point, we'll have Urborg come down. And let's go Ashiok. That's going to be 1, 2. Actually, we'll tap down Warm Power Stone. Let's get Chromatic Lantern down. That way we've got Mirari's Wake and Chromatic Lantern, which is pretty good. All right, we have Chromatic Lantern come down. Let's go for Ashiok. Oh, excuse me, I forgot Blind Obedience, artifacts into the battlefield tap. So that's going to be double blue. Let's have all Ashiok come down, and that still keeps us open on Bedevil and Terminate. So let's go for the +1, exile cards from the top of our opponent's library. And then we do hit a Guardian. Now we might be able to get some life gain from our opponent. That might be pretty good. Or we can actually just work towards the -12 of Nicol Bolas. So, and just so there's no funny business, Lebowski, well, I guess we can wait. Yeah, there's no reason that we need to pop one of their creatures right now. So let's just do that. Let's just go and pass the turn to our opponent, and then we'll go for that +2. Then hopefully we can get that ultimate going pretty soon. So we'll see if they end up doing anything next turn. Luckily, we've got 2 pieces of instant speed removal, and they are in top deck mode. So I feel like even if they do somehow chain together some draw spells or something like that, hopefully we can dodge the extort trigger. I mean, crazier things have happened, but and there they go. They hit a land for the turn. So let's see if this is going to shake any sort of attacks out of them, and then we can start to go for these activations. And okay, so if they do end up swinging with Rafiq, it just has Death Touch and Exalted, and this is indestructible. Okay, so they're simply just going to go and pass the turn. Do we want to deal with Stoneforge Mystic? Let's just go and pop Stoneforge Mystic really quick, because that puts it to where all we have to do is just kind of bottleneck on Nicol Bolas just being the answer to Rafiq, basically. So let's go for the Terminate on Stoneforge Mystic. That way there's no funny business Lebowski or anything like that. And then, all right, so we're going to lose that extra mana. And also, props to our opponent for letting us... Ooh, Chain Veil. Okay. All right, so I think... We don't have it, but I think, yes, I think we might actually have it. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's have a Chain Veil come down. Oh, yeah, that was, that was a beautiful top deck. Let's go for the +2. Pop our opponent. It's going to put us at 12. And then we can see what we end up ripping. All right, but let's go scoop it up on that one. So basically what's going to happen is the Chain Veil, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to use it with Blind Obedience. But next turn, we're going to go for the +12. We don't know what's on top of our opponent's library. We're able to grab something nice. And then we've got Ashiok. We can put an extra creature on the battlefield. And then once we get to that ultimate, we also put ourselves in a position where we go for that Nicol Bolas ultimate and then still end up going for the +2 ability to exile stuff from the top of our opponent's library. So you can see where we stabilized at like 6. That was a really good feeling. It was a little bit nervous for a second watching Blind Obedience maybe extort us out of the game, but thankfully we were able to beat the extort ability. And if you enjoyed the video, hey, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.